Hello everyone, my name is Cameron Jack, I'm the writer and director of Space Engineers Planet Wars, and today we'll be taking a look at episode 40, part 2, and doing a bit of director's commentary on it. It's been about a couple of months now since the series ended, so I thought I'd come back to it and run you through a few things you guys might have missed, because I know you're massive fans of the series, and I thought I'd just trail off and do a bit of a commentary over the last episode for you. So, let's get straight into it. So we start off where episode 40 part 1 left off, and that is basically the Serenity under attack from the shadows.
Tactical analysis now.
Sir, there is one giant ship with 5 fighters.
We made a point out of making how many fighters the Shadow Carrier actually had, because we felt it need to actually have a direct attitude of how many fighters were actually going to show shooting down. We didn't want to say unlimited fighters in case everyone got a bit confused. Also, the argument between Steak and Jack is a real staple point in the series.
Captain, I am ordering you to turn this ship around.
With all due respect, this is my ship and my crew. I'll do what I decide is best.
For God's sake, man, I am a flag officer.
Unfortunately for you, I no longer recognize...
The lines here really staple in an element of part of the series here, especially when it's surrounding the other units, which is Aldebaran itself. In fact, Steak no longer recognised Jack's rank of Grand Admiral. This also gives a bit of an insight of what's currently going on in RWI space. I love shooting this shot here, especially when we launched a 302 from Serenity. I felt it was quite cool. Sadly, a few glitches did nail in that we couldn't do a few things, but hopefully with Space Engineers' recent improvements, we can shoot a lot more scenes like this in the upcoming new series Enigma.
Here goes nothing. Stay information and let's get those bastards.
Copy, Hell Leader.
Ready for flight, Lieutenant.
Captain, this will not work. I know the commander. He will destroy this ship.
Admiral, shut up or I will remove you from this bridge.
Shall I bring the ship to combat alert?
Yes, I want all personnel...
We really wanted to sell the point that the ship was actually going to win this battle. Obviously, Serenity does end up winning the battle, evidently due to what happens in the episode if you lost it. But I would recommend, if you haven't seen this episode yet, go back and watch part 1 and then part 2 and then come back to the commentary, because I will be dropping things ahead of time.
Primate weapon. Fire on the
These scenes here were actually
cannon.
slightly messed up because the commander is meant to be off the ship by then, but for some reason he was still on board at this time. We also revealed that the Shadow Carrier had a miniature version of the Zelix's main weapon. The Zelix is the Dreadnought. Now, unfortunately, here you can see the ship catching on fire. We didn't actually have the blue laser effect for some reason. The phaser mod for Space Engineers has been a bit broken for quite a while now.
What the hell was that?
Shadow weapon.
I also love showing damage effects on the Serenity like this. We've got smoke in the background there, we've got sparks, we've got troopers running around really slow because of sim speed. But it does look really good.
I told you this would happen.
Damn it. Arm all weapons, take us into range, and target that damn cannon.
Here we go, the Serenity in full battle action now, which is obviously destroying things. And we're back here with the fighters as well. These scenes I really love shooting, particularly as we had the 203s and stuff like that. It was really cool to play around with these guys. The scenes were really complicated to film at some point. If you want to know how I did it, I actually put a passenger chair on the front of the fighters and then shot it from in-person camera. I think if you guys would like, I might actually go over a few tips and tricks of how I film my missions at some point. Leave a like rating on this video if you'd like to, and let me know down below in the comments, and I can always arrange that. We want to have one of our Hell Squadron fighters being chased. Then we have obviously Kraz, which plays Lieutenant Commander Simmons, who's flying one of our Shadow lead fighters, or Aldebaran lead fighters. I really loved filming the fighters crashing. It reminded me of the old Rogue Squadron game. If you've ever played that, you used to remember how X-Wings and Y-Wings would crash.
Hell 3, move to cover my back, will ya?
That rocket wasn't actually meant to hit the 302. Or 203s, aren't they? That scene there we had to patch together really badly because I actually lost part of the recording things. So there was meant to be a scene of him spinning out, but sadly crashed. Kraz actually pronounced his name wrong. He's called Lieutenant Aiden Trace. Kraz read the script wrong and didn't realise what an I meant, so he pronounced it Eldon, when it's meant to be Aiden. Fun fact for you. And I think the wiki actually references that it's Eldon as well. So you've got this whole different character now, which I wrote backstory to as under Aiden, and everyone's got confused as who it is. If you want to visit our wiki, by the way, it's the link will be down in the description. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's called the Redwood Universe Wiki. Lots of story stuff on there at the minute. This music scene and the fight scene, I really loved filming them. So cool. One day I hope we can actually get more dramatic dogfights on capture. I'm thinking of getting in a few more cameramen to help with it.
Respond. That Shadow command carrier must be blocking communication.
Guys, I have a blowout. Fire on engine 3.
Form up.
I specifically liked the idea of the fighters breaking off on the sides here. It reminded me such of sort of Return of the Jedi fleet battles, like Red 2 on your left, you take one to the left, such like that.
Hit. Repeat. Wing has
So a
been
lot of
down.
inspiration from Star Wars was taken for this, particularly for these last battles. This crashing scene here, probably one of the most worst ones I've filmed ever. Because of Space Engineers damages at the time where ships were sinking to the ground, I didn't want to have a fighter sink and then disappear, because that wouldn't be very sort of like story-wise.
Sir, another contact on center.
I love this moment here.
Be careful what you ask for, Simmons.
Best piece of music, Rise of the Phoenix, Epidemic Sound. Oh, it is amazing. Please agree with me, it's one of the best scenes I've done. Essentially, that music is now called Serenity's theme, because it first made an appearance when it actually appeared. Now, you see here in that scene where it dips up and down, that's actually a bug in the game. We didn't plan that.
Coming in from above. Watch it.
Take one, I'll take the other.
We have the other two. Alright, Captain. Two coming in dead ahead.
Obviously here we've got the carrier actually rearming itself and doing quite a lot. It has a lot of fire there. The turrets don't actually fire on command. You know, it's all 3 turrets catch fire there, and the other one doesn't fire. That was such an accident, but I didn't want to reshoot it, so we had to put up with it anyway. We lost one shadow fighter and obviously the other crashed as well. The helicarrier in the back was meant to be moving, but it stopped.
Hell yeah, that's them finished. Simmons, how you doing?
Unfortunately, that's one of the things we dealt with in Spaces was the fact a lot of things didn't work most of the time, so we had to make use of what we got.
Hell 2, finish off the last one, yeah?
Copy
Mr.
that,
Greeny
dude.
shooting down another fighter. That almost went so wrong. I think it actually knocked out my secondary camera, that fighter.
Yes. Simmons, I got damage to my wing. Compensating, but not
So we obviously know the fighter squadron took quite a lot of damage, and that's why we've only got 2 fighters in the Serenity docked on in the Serenity series. There's another fighter in the hangar bay.
Hell 3 is down, and myself and Hell 2 have sustained damage to the fighters.
I suggest breaking off and making quick repairs. No good assaulting that carrier if you're already damaged.
Unfortunately, there's no music here. I did meant to put ambient music in, but I think I just never got around to it, or finding the right soundscape. Now this shot here of a shadow carrier opening fire on the Serenity is quite cool. I wish I could have done more like explosion effects, but the trouble is, it's a pain in the ass sometimes when you have to log in and out of a world to reduce damage effects here. So what we did here was we turned damage off, hence why you can see the battles taking place and nothing being done.
Armor plating is at 70%.
Sir, I am reading that the enemy ship has begun charging their weapons again.
Captain, Lieutenant Commander Simmons is attempting to make
You can
contact.
certainly tell the amount of lag we're dealing with here. Like I said, hopefully with Space's recent updates, we can now film
We have taken care
new
of
things,
all
which is quite good.
fighters. All ships terminated.
Excellent, Lieutenant. Double time back here and help us with the carrier assault.
Negative, Captain.
I really love Kry's lines. He did an actually quite a good job at becoming Lieutenant Commander Simmons. And obviously for the next series, Kry's will be a more prominent character, particularly as his character is now XO of Serenity.
Sir, I have a strike team already on board Shuttle 1.
Dispatch them now.
Obviously, I have an RDBI shuttle leaving there. The shuttles leaving a hangar bay, I really loved filming those things because they, again, reminded me of Star Trek, particularly where you have the shuttles leaving the hangar bay and going to a planet at a time. We've got a Shadow Strike team here ready to jump off the hangar onto the other ship. Now, for some reason, I never actually turned the guns on at this point. It looks like the battle has stalled, which is a bit of a shame. I think, no, the reason it's stalled is because it disabled their weapon systems. The idea was Shadows would capture a Serenity and then use it to infiltrate RWI. That was the basic idea, but we changed it eventually. I really like the idea of these guys walking up the hull of a starship. I can't remember what series I got it from now. The idea of people fighting on the hull of starships was something that came really strong to me. It might have been from Star Wars, particularly in the Clone Wars when Anakin and Obi-Wan jump around on starship hulls fighting Count Dooku.
Oh, Jesus.
What the
Faster
hell?
reactions is something which needed to be developed on at some point. So you can see our characters run further back there. Obviously, the downside is sim speed can get really bad.
Tactical, get security up here now.
So I give him my pistol
Here,
as
have
well.
this.
Sir, security are cut off.
More intruders on deck 2.
Damn it, radio Simmons for help.
Obviously, we've got our character on the left there who just dives down. I think he's still actually... I don't know if he's alive for the next Enigma one or it's the same voice actor. I don't think it will be. We've got the commander storming air. And this one, again, one of the most brutal scenes we did, which where we just executed someone straight up.
Get ready, Captain. This is the bad part.
Jesus Christ.
The Shadow Guy's obviously destroying the screens there and empty disabling Serenity by destroying its bridge. We've got more troopers escaping, stuff like that. We wanted to give a presence that most of the RWI crew wouldn't be killed. I love that shot of Jack using his pistol. They came out really well.
Come out, Admiral. You have failed.
Try me,
And I think a
Commander.
good little bit of information I can drop is it's not the last we've seen of a commander, although he may have perished in this series here. Well, not perished really, it's not the last we've seen of him. And I'll be creating some more information on him very soon.
Steak, listen to me. I'll deal with Commander, you deal with troopers, alright?
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Good, now give me some cover and fire while I go after that.
So we got
coward.
one of my next favourite scenes where I chase down the commander. Now, weirdly enough, there's a shadow trooper stood towards the door there, which we missed in that shot, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. But the commander lures Jack out here, essentially, and they get into a bit of a fight. What would have been nice at this point in time is if the more RWI
Oi,
troops were
Commander.
on the hull at the same time.
Running away from your defining moments?
You can't defeat us, Jack. It's over for you.
I love that sound of reloading a pistol.
I'll give you one chance.
What? For me to surrender? Never.
Like I say, reaction times is one thing which we failed in this series. Hopefully we are going to fix it at another time. But like I say, we're dealing with space system speed, but hopefully it's fixed now.
I will die today, Grand Admiral.
Like hell.
I would like to reshoot elements of Planet Wars at some point, but I don't see myself returning to it anytime soon, so I think for the next couple of series where we'll see if we've made improvements. The jetpack scene was quite funny, very much taken from Star Trek. I think it was, not Voyage Home, Star Trek Motion Picture, where they used the jetpacks. That might have been where it's taken from. The idea of the jetpacks flying in that such way. The Shadow Carrier there is actually called the Admiral Commander Carrier, a very fun ship to play with. This turns into one of the most dark wrote scenes I've ever done, to be honest. Particularly how well it ends. Steak actually got shot in the face there. It didn't go well.
Captain Steak to Commander Ford. Ford respond. Steak to engine room. This is Captain Steak of the RWI Serenity. The ship has been boarded by Shadow Forces. Repeat, the Serenity has been boarded by Shadow Forces. Help us.
Easily one of the most darkest scenes ever. I think a lot of people reacted to that quite well, to be honest. They didn't expect me to do that, because we'd done killings before on the show, but I hadn't wrote one as brutal as that, where the captain just gets gunned down in front of everyone. It's quite different.
Oh, really? Well, then watch as I destroy your
Another scene here was quite cool as well. The reason the engine room didn't answer Steak's comm there was because they were busy dealing with this. A lot of the engineers stood out there. Now, a lot of the crew are still present in Enigma. The chief engineer wasn't actually present here at the time. He was in another section of the starship, hence why he doesn't get killed. He makes an appearance in Enigma. So obviously we went Planet Wars, Serenity, which is our little mini-series. If you haven't watched Serenity, by the way, go and watch it. A fantastic little series I produced, which gives more elements to the Serenity crew and people on board. And then we're doing Enigma, which is going to land in the new year, which is going to follow Jack and Venom and Serenity and Eclipse around again. And obviously we did have the plot device there, where I had to write this in order to destroy the Serenity's jump drive so we could get both ships drifting through space. But I did like the idea of it, though. Shadow Troopers boarding a ship and blowing up a jump drive. It's very cool. Because I think the original plan was we was going to have the Zelix in space and try and intercept the starships, but we scrapped that in the end in favour of the ending we did.
Serenity is in trouble. We need to
The direction of the Planet Wars series really changed towards the end here. I created more cinematic, obviously, with the departure of Finbar. It proved beneficial in a way to me as well. I could take more creative control of it and actually direct it in the way I wanted to, which was creating these cinematic adventures like this. This is what I wanted Planet Wars always to be. I never really wanted it to be a survival series, but I kind of went along with it because the other party wanted that as well. But now it became a cinematic series. It's quite cool.
Respond, please.
And that is me voice acting that. That's because I ran out of voice actors in the edit and couldn't be asked to ask anyone else, so I had to do it myself. You notice myself, I voice a lot of the Shadow Troopers sometimes, which is embarrassing, but when you've not got much resource for voice actors, it's kind of hard. Here you go, the Gatling gun firing with ship. Fun fact, one shot we actually hit the shuttle and blew it up completely just by a stray bullet. I think we hit the cockpit which had a warhead underneath it. It was so embarrassing.
Aye, sir.
Now this here actually almost went wrong. I almost ploughed into the back of a bridge and destroyed everything. The dark scenes here, we probably should have turned some more spotlights on, but everyone can kind of grasp it.
Alright, move out.
Ford's voice actor has done exceptionally well, and he's came quite far. Ellis, I think it's called, off the top of my head. I remember his in-game name. But he's done really well. Kind of proud how far he's come, to be honest, because we've built the character of Commander Ford really well, and people actually enjoy it. People like Ford, and he's set up to become the next main character of Enigma. The inside of Serenity being on fire and everything like this is something I really wanted to produce, because it looks like the ship's being torn apart. Very reminiscent of Star Trek and Star Wars sometimes when they have interior ship battles. I liked it. It reminded me of a scene from the Clone Wars where the droids had board a Venice's Star Destroyer and they'd have to fight them back. That laggy scene there.
Hello, is anyone receiving this?
This is Commander Ford.
Obviously, the Lieutenant. We didn't actually give a name to him. I think, to be honest,
sir.
what we might do soon is just name someone
On our way,
else.
Lieutenant.
Or actually, I think we've got a name for him in Enigma. The Lieutenant is named, so that might be interesting. We'll have to give him a proper name and a voice actor. If anyone's interested, we are opening voice actor applications for Enigma and Zelix soon. So get ready for that if you're interested. We'll be hosting it somewhere better, I think, because I've paused it up twice now.
Go.
This scene as well here got really heated, and it didn't go as well as thought, because creating authentic gun battles in space scenes is kind of hard when you lack camera movements and things like that. That rifle there was not planned to fly under a camera, it just did, which was quite cool. But I think these fight scenes went really well. I wonder what you guys think of them, to be honest. If you've got any like comments of what you thought of it, please leave them down below. I've read most people's criticism, so we understand a lot of that. But then again, this series isn't done on a budget or anything. We don't have any budgets for it. It's not a professional series. It's literally done by me.
He was on the bridge, sir. I managed to get out of the way and get down here.
Stick behind us. I'm getting the ship.
This bit here was almost taken from Battlestar Galactica, where it's like I'm taking my ship back. But we have the Shadow Troopers trying to hack into the controls here. And it's not revealed in the series, but they actually download quite a bit of information about this and transmit it back to the Shadows, which are then uploaded to the network. Another scene here of execution where these just shoot it down. Sadly, we lost the scene of the Shadow Troops getting executed.
Oh no.
Which was unfortunate because there was a prop in the background.
Sir, what do we do?
Sir, the captain's death. You are the commander of the Serenity now.
I really like writing this bit in here where Ford is basically going, right, I'm the CEO of a starship now. Which is quite a surprise, because when it's thrust upon you like that, you're kind of like, whoa, okay, I did not expect that one coming anytime soon. Then obviously here we have a fight between Jack and the commander. I was going to plan a bit to have Shadow Troopers stood around them, but I thought it probably wouldn't make much sense at this point in time.
Shut up and do something for a change. It's all empty threats.
However, Shadow Man never hit Jack, who's a mystery to be misnamed. Apparently my character's a super god.
The captain of the Serenity is dead. We have the upper hand. Redwood will be destroyed.
We have a very prominent member of the Shadows there believing that Redwood will be destroyed. Obviously, if we ever launch the series bases Redwood, I'll be able to tell more of the Shadow War story, which would be quite cool.
This is Serenity. We have regained control of the ship.
This bit of music here, I never planned to it, and I don't remember using it, but the violin, very strong.
Commander. The carrier's got system failures all across the board. Looking at a total shutdown.
Stake is dead.
What? How?
Shadow Strike Team. Bigger problems with Serenity's weapons.
So we get revealed that Serenity's weapon grid is completely offline, and I think it still actually remains offline at the minute, but it was repaired in Serenity by engineers and DJ, so when Enigma rolls around next year, Serenity will almost be back up operation again, just still missing the jump drive and a few minor systems.
And commence full thrust.
Ah, I see what you're thinking.
Now this ending to Planet Wars is really cool, especially filming these scenes here. I loved making use of the helicarrier, because although I never actually liked the survival element of Planet Wars, having the helicarrier is a very incredible asset we made use of it, and seeing it go in this series was really cool.
Why, Commander? Why'd you keep failing, huh? Surely Admiral Sark is disappointed by now.
And also here we get the revelation that Admiral Sark isn't the leader of the Shadow Empire, or Shadows. I keep calling it Shadow Empire, we're not an Empire. The Shadows, when it's actually the director,
Surely not you.
or the Shadow Man.
The Shadow Man calls the shots.
AKA the Elusive Man, but obviously I can't call him that.
The war, the artifact, it's all him.
Now the sim speed went really low here. At some point I was going to transfer assets to different worlds and film in different locations, which is probably what I'll do for Enigma, is making a lot of different films. I'm still watching this in a minute, it's quite cool. There we go, this epic shot here. I really wanted to use the main cannon, but it wouldn't work.
So that carries him directly for us.
Christ.
This bit here, very reminiscent of Halo Wars, where it's like, Sir, Covenant cruiser ahead, hard starboard. It's like, it's too late. Smash.
Escape, Jack. You will go down with this ship.
If you go down with it, then fine.
I can't remember the actual scene it was taken from, but basically it's like, I can't remember now. It's taken from a scene where the ship gets rammed in, so it's like, it's too late, and just smashes and destroys everything. It's from a sci-fi series somewhere, but I can't remember.
Finally, Simmons is back.
Wow, shit.
I believe I might be able to help you escape, Admiral.
What the?
Obviously here, we see the Eclipse sat in the background there. That wasn't meant to be there, but I actually left it in the shot. Kind of embarrassing. The ideal scene for this was that the Eclipse was going to fly underneath, like it's doing now, and Jack was going to jump into the hangar bay, but we could never pull it off, so we had to just stop the Eclipse there.
Commander, however, I must be going.
Because I think I flew it at the same time.
I'm aboard, DJ. Punch it.
The idea was the Eclipse would fly by and I'd jump onto it. We're still hoping to film one of those scenes one day, but it's getting the cameras is so difficult.
Computer, set autopilot to full ahead thrust.
This scene here is obviously very reminiscent of Battlestar Pegasus ramming and destroying something, particularly like computer set full headstone. This scene was a pain in the backside to film, believe it or not. Obviously, got a commander screaming there. We don't actually show the commander's death. If you look in very closely, he's not stood on the hull of a starship there, funnily enough. And we were completely ripped into that. I think we actually had to cut the scenes, because it didn't go as planned. But yeah, that was quite a lot of destruction we filmed. What we should have done is planted warheads throughout the ship at the time, but the trouble is we were dealing with such immense lag towards the end of the series that we just couldn't. One of the things we had to do was essentially end the series here because the lag was getting so immense to deal with. It would have revolved in us having to rebuild an entire world, and at the time of how I was feeling about the series just wouldn't have been very prominent. But instead, we ended it here. Also, we moved the crash to make it look a bit better, which we are going to update quite a bit more at the end of the series. There we go. We've got the Enemies Defeated song playing again. This first played back in the very start plan it was. Hey, we've got Venom there, who actually utilised myself and Finbar's old miner to escape the carrier. That's how we got off it, because we had to find a way to write into it.
Well done.
We've got a transport flying where some dipshit left the fucking ramp down. That was so embarrassing. But it's actually the miner there, which is so cool to see that again. And the Eclipse safely landed on the ice there. This shot was very cool to film because having the Eclipse back in action and land there to be used again was really cool. I recognise a lot of you guys actually like the Eclipse, and therefore it's one of the reasons why I want to involve it a lot more in Enigma. The episode 1 of Enigma, you're going to see a lot more of the Eclipse and DJ, particularly the Eclipse in action as well. It's a very cool ship for me to play with.
The RWI Serenity is trying to contact yourself.
Play it.
Jack? Admiral Roberts? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What the hell happened?
Well, DJ VAR and the Eclipse saved me. Managed to jump ship before that carrier went down.
Well then, good news. One of my strike teams has recovered Captain Kaz and is bringing him to the bridge.
There we get the SSF. Everything is wrapped up and stuff like that. So basically, everyone reconciles back on the bridge as well.
There's something that you need to know.
Obviously, Jack there gets briefed that Stake is dead, which is kind of good for him because it means another rival commander's out of the way. Because Commander Ford is more or less the more accepting version of that. Also, the Serenity lands here. I smashed this into the ice at one point and completely destroyed the Eclipse. We also had to implement landing gears. The Defenders aren't actually meant to land. Defender is the class of ship, in case a lot of people didn't know. Also, we've got the engineers fixing stuff in the background. Very cool. Because I think the Serenity is actually going to get a few conversions and upgrades in Enigma, particularly towards the back there. We're going to redo a lot of the computer systems.
A job well done.
Indeed. Where's Commander Simmons?
For some reason, Kraz's microphone went extremely quiet in the last couple of scenes, which is unfortunate. Basically, we get glitchy. There's a real glitch with the lights. If you notice people who don't have their helmets open, they almost have 2 eyes. It's really irritating. But I think for future series, we want to get custom skins created, but the trouble is, we're limited to what models we can actually use, which is one of the downsides of doing this. But I'd love to get like an RWI uniform done for our crew, which would be quite nice.
Commander Ford, ground teams report they've found nothing. Most of the Shadow Carrier is burning up.
Tell them to return to base ASAP. In fact, tell all personnel I want them aboard now. Sir? Admiral, I think we can presume the artifact you...
So we get the news there that the artifact we're chasing was destroyed there. Now it's particularly destroyed because it's on board the Shadow Carrier. Very interesting. We're exploring this a lot more in a new mini-series upcoming, which is called Space Aliens Zelix, which follows the Shadow's perspective actually. I don't know when that's going to be landing, but I can't wait to film it very soon.
I'll have the ship ready to go immediately.
See to it that you do. Myself and Captain Kaz will take the Eclipse.
And then we get Ford walking towards his seat. Ford's actually yellow for some reason. He's green in it, but the film made it out as yellow.
Indeed I did. Fully repaired too.
DJ's voice here is obviously outdated compared to the latest version. I went through trials and errors of redesigning his voice, and the version you see in Serenity is the last version I came up with, which I liked.
To be honest, after all that's happened,
Serenity to Eclipse. This is Ford. All systems are green over here, Admiral. We're ready to leave when you are.
Copy that, Commander. Permission to launch. DJ, take us out.
Aye, sir.
Serenity taking off there. A very interesting shot to film. Particularly because its thrusters still on fire on the sides there. We probably should have put those fires out originally. But we kind of left. Lucky no one pointed it out though. We left them on board there. The Eclipse taking off as well. A very interesting film. I compare the Eclipse like a small shuttle or frigate from Star Wars, or even the Normandy essentially, when it lifts off and jets off. That's the kind of what I imagine the Eclipse of when it's taking off. Obviously, our iconic ending scene here of the 2 ships drifting off into space to end it once and for all was very cool. The original ending for this was to have the Zelix appear on scanners and attempt to not chase the ships, but just sit there and watch them as the two ships enter cryosleep and drift through space.
It's alright, Commander. We will survive.
Good to hear. See you on the other side, Admiral Roberts. Commander Ford of the RWI Serenity.
And obviously, we get the shutdown sequence of Serenity. I love filming this because like the ship actually turns off and goes into hibernation. Very reminiscent again of the backward bit of Halo Wars essentially, because obviously in Halo Wars 2 you get the ship coming online and turning everything on. In this bit here you get everything shutting down and the ship essentially going dark and everything fading out. I really liked filming it because it's like the ship essentially sleeps and everything rests and sleeps. This is the end of the series. It's a 42 episode series.
Well, time to sleep, I guess.
Go on ahead, my friends. I'm gonna take a moment.
See you when
I really wanted to channel sort of like an emotional standpoint between Jack and Venom. Essentially they're at peace, but they don't actually get time to sit down and discuss said peace.
Who knows how long we're going to be drifting for?
Because they're not home. The battle essentially, their mini war is over. The battle isn't over though, because, actually no, the battle's over, the war isn't over. Their mini war isn't, because they're not home.
Grand Admiral Jack Roberts of RWI Eclipse -00991.
That's sort of my monologue speech here. I kind of built this in two ways, or wrote it in two ways. I wrote it to be Grand Admiral Jack's last speech, but I also wrote it to be my last couple of words about the series Planet Wars, hence why you can hear me say it's over.
I'm leaving my AI, DJ, in a low power mode to monitor the ships.
I think we've actually redone the Eclipse's bridge for Enigma.
There are two attached.
I hope so anyway.
One about the AI.
The letter there says someone addressed someone close to me. I think a lot of people tried guessing that. I've not given it away just yet. I'm not planning to give it away for quite a while now. You'd have to watch Redwood if we ever produce that to learn who it goes to. Because the character's not been introduced yet.
What we started is now destroyed. Signed, Grand Admiral Jack Roberts. Computer.
I really liked filming this ending because for me, it was kind of a sense of accomplishment that I'd finished with series. Planet Wars for myself has been a very interesting journey of filming this, and I can't wait to share the universe with you guys a lot more. The RWI universe is something I build and write and work on every single day. It takes me a lot of time, and the fact you guys enjoyed a series like this is very cool. So I hope you did enjoy Planet Wars. It was very interesting for myself, Venom, and the entire film crew to work on. It had setbacks, it did not go as planned, but I managed to end it on a high note, which is here. And obviously the ships drift into space. And that's the end. Or is it? Did we have another scene after this? We did. Here we go. My boy the Elusive Man. I loved filming this. Because I actually got the music right for a change. We redid the Elusive Man theme. Me and my music composer worked on this and we actually redid a version of it. This is actually to be explained in Enigma, I believe. Or more of it's to be seen, I think, in another series. But I've redone his room since. I think that's me voicing it again.
Reports from the X-23 planet have arrived. The commander has failed, sir.
What is this?
So we see the Shadow Man disappointed then. It's more of like different because before he hadn't expressed failure.
Also, the RWI Eclipse asset has been lost.
And the artifact?
After a few hours, our recovery team.
So again, they found a fragment of the artifact, so their mission wasn't a failure.
Very good. Recover all that you can and withdraw. This operation was a failure.
Understood, my lord.
This operation was a failure, recover what you can. Fun fact, the recovery hasn't taken place on screen yet because I'm planning to actually show on screen. The mini-series based in Zelix, which is coming soon, will actually show things from a shadow perspective, particularly of them recovering the fragment of the artifact, or fragments. We do not know yet, but they're venturing back to the X-23 planet, which obviously people nickname it the Earth-like planet. It's actually called the X-23 planet. We see the Shadow Man saying, soon the Shadows will have total control of everything. And it's delivering lines, and they will return. That is a hint towards the deeper understanding of the story and also the Shadows' motives. And they will return and give us more of an emphasis of what the Shadows are actually up to. So it'll be interesting to see people's theories and things like that. And here we go, it's the ending. I really liked filming this bit here. I can't remember what inspiration I took this bit from, but I think either it was a BSG ending where we see the ships going into the sun, or it's the Halo Wars 2 ending, or Halo Wars 2 start, or one of them where we see it drifting through space. And obviously we have the ending there as well. It was very interesting for me to write this series, and I can't wait to share the future of it with you here. There we go, it's absolutely amazing. I enjoyed filming this, it's very cool. With the ships drifting in space, I really loved it. And like I said, I can't wait to show you guys the next stuff. It's going to be extremely cool. This has been Planet Wars, the director's commentary. I hope you did enjoy my little voice over this, and if you did reach this far, you guys are serious, some hardcore fans of my own writing. I'd just like to say thank you if you're still watching it. It's been amazing writing this. I can't emphasize it such enough. Planet Wars was a very interesting episode. Oh, did you like the episode? Can I see this? Oh yeah. 99% actually voted that they liked this ending episode, and 0% voted no. Where did the 1% go? Alright. But thank you guys very much for liking Planet Wars. It's been so cool. I cannot wait to tell the next story. But thank you for watching. I've been Captain Jack. If you'd like to learn more about my story universe, which is the Redwood universe, head down to our Wikipedia, which is kept up to date by my community helpers. You can learn a lot more there, including new characters which are getting added, as well as other elements of the story, such as Space's Discovery, Zelix, Enigma, and all the other upcoming series. Alternatively, you can join my Discord server, which is down below as well, and come and join us there for a very interesting topic of conversation. It's going to be quite cool. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this. I've been Captain Jack, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.